Hello, my paper peeps. Today I want to share with you 3 must-try DIY embellishments that I think you will enjoy creating for your scrapbook journals. This is a flower that I'm going to be creating, and what you want to do is take, I would say it's about an inch of clay, and what you want to do is actually cut that in half and then roll it out. And you want to roll it out to a point where it's quite thin, because I tried this several times, and if it's too thick, the braiding part of this project does not work. I know you'll see as you kind of get through it is that it's hard to kind of keep it thin. It wants to kind of spread out in the middle. So just keep trying. It is trial and error, but the key is to make sure it's as rectangular and as straight as possible. It doesn't look like doesn't have much of an oval shape to it. You want it to be more of a rectangle in shape, and like I said, extremely thin. And the great thing with polymer clay is it doesn't harden until you actually bake it. So you can play around as much as you want with it. If you don't like the look, then just scrunch it up and start all over again. So what I did here is I took a strip of this flattened out polymer clay, and I think the best length is about 4 inches in length. And then I just braided it. Then once you've finished the braid, all you have to do is just roll it. Roll it up just like this. And now you have this beautiful floret. Now, I just recommend cutting that so that you get a smaller, because if this is embellishing in your scrapbook journals, yeah, that large piece is not going to work. Now, even these themselves are quite thick, and so I might just use them as tag toppers instead of inside my journal. But I'm going to see how they actually finish off, and I might just put them inside the journal. Now, if you're new to my channel, my name is Christine, and I'm notorious for creating these paper lines that I love scrapbook journaling in, but I love embellishing, and because I love that 3D effect, you can't really put that in your books without creating so much bulk. And so I've grown accustomed to just embellishing on the outside of my scrapbook journals. So there is embellishing on the inside of my journals, but most of it I find is just displayed as kind of tags, tabs, and bookmarks that sit in between the pages of my journals. And I find that this type of embellishing it's like foreshadowing for what's to come on the inside. And it's just a great way of adding an extra element of interest to your scrapbook journals. If you're interested in all these other DIY scrapbook journals that I've created, again, I'll put a link to those in the description box below. Now, this will go in the oven at 275 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. You don't want it to go any longer than that, or else it'll start to discolor and darken. And with this batch, I kind of left it in the oven for 45 minutes to almost an hour. I forgot I was doing yard work, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I left this stuff in the oven. Anyways, oops, my bad. It still turned out perfectly fine, and I'm going to use them. Now the next one are leaves. And I like this technique because it's quite simple. It's just as simple as the other one. What I did again was take a ball of clay, and this one's about an inch. Now I would cut that in half and then roll out the other half. Now, one of the things I noticed with this one, you can roll this one out, and the reason why I'm using half here, pardon the golf tan line there. I'm looking at myself rolling, and I'm like, what is wrong with your hand? I'm like, oh, yeah, I sprained my wrist over the summer, and I had to wear a brace, and And wow, it's amazing what the sun does to the hands. Look at my hands. See the right hand and the left hand? There's a huge difference. So stay out of the sun or wear lots of sunscreen because boy, look at how the sun really ages your skin. Okay, I digress. Sorry. Okay, so this I rolled it out to about 6 inches. Okay, so this is 6 inches long. And then what I did was I placed a little bit of flour on the scissors because the polymer clay really wants to stick to the metal. Ideally, scissors with a very fine tip would work. And you want to just snip at an angle and then pull the leaf portion away from you. And then do it again right underneath and snip and then pull that towards you. Now, with this one, the reason why I have it on a long strip like that is because my intention was to create a wreath out of this. And it was difficult to do. What I recommend if you're using parchment paper, and the reason why I put it on parchment paper is because once you do this, you don't want to move it. So place it on some parchment paper, and then what I recommend is taping the parchment paper down. The last technique is using the geometric metal cutters, which I find are beautiful. And I kind of want to match these leaves to the leaves in the journal here. So I just took two colors and just blended them together. Now, one of the things I recommend is when you're blending the two together, the more you squish it together, the more the colors will blend out, which means you will get a more uniform color. In this case, I don't want to do too much of that, too much manipulating, because I want you to see the green and the yellow through the clay. So don't over manipulate if you want to see distinct colors throughout your leaves. I really like these metal cutters because if your journal's huge, like if you're scrapbook journaling in a 12 by 12, it usually means that your embellishments can be larger, which means you can use your cookie cutters if you want. But because my journals are quite small and I think they're 9 by 7 inches, I need the smaller embellishments. And to do that with, like free-handed is quite difficult. So I really like these metal cutters. And you know what? I tried. Can I be honest with you? I tried using bread art techniques for this, and it would work again if you had larger layouts, larger 12 by 12 layouts. And they're great to have too because I like to add these little charms to my projects, and I used to add them to the kids' projects like you see here. Okay, so if you don't have one of those fancy clay tool needlepoint tools, then you can So once you've completed all your clay work, again, I place these in the oven at 270 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes. If you leave it in for longer than that, then anticipate some darkening of the clay. But in my case, when I actually left it in for 45 minutes, it was almost an hour actually, and it did darken a little bit, but it's not a big deal to me. Now, once they've baked, you can bring them back. They're pretty much ready to handle immediately. They don't hold the heat, and you can leave them just like that, or you can use the Sculpey gloss glaze to give it a brilliant shine to it. But if you don't have that, then just go ahead and use your glossy accents. And here I'm going to do half of them with the glossy glaze, and then the other half I'm just going to leave as is, because I'm not sure what look I want in my scrapbook journal, so I'm just going to leave it as is. And with the glossy glaze, I would say it dries within 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how thick a layer you put on, so they're ready to craft with immediately. Now, if you're new to my channel, this is what we do at Christine M. Leung. I create paper lines, and throughout the course of 1 to 2 months, I usually add to them. And so if you've purchased this Essence of Fall paper line, you'll be getting this printable for free in your mailbox. Again, that's how we roll at Christine M. Leung. I'm always adding things. So if you feel like this is something you want to do, then please feel free to download the DIY journals. And then in the next month or two, expect a few surprises in your mailbox, and then the corresponding video that goes with these new techniques. And if you're interested in how I created these printables and made them into a paperclip for the scrapbook journal, then you'll want to watch this video here, and it will show you how I created these paperclips so that you don't see the paperclip. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like more tips and tricks on how to jazz up those scrapbook journals, then you may want to watch this video here or this video here. Until I see you in those videos, take care and have a fantastic week. Bye!